champions to babysit-ish. So Execration this time around, very different.
Yeah, for sure. And now we're heading on to our game 2 of the match between Execration versus Liyab Esports. Once again, we're your casters. I'm Keisaya. With me is Riku. And I don't know, Riku, did we think about new terminology apart from that standard one? Because I want to say standard because Liyab Esports is going for a standard rotation, but a 1-2-1 laning phase to start for Execration on this one.
That's true. Execration just switching up their duo in the mid lane instead. Most likely, again, this is to enable this Olaf pick. We've seen it time and time again. Either you pair it with a Seraphine support or Seraphine mid lane, but this time it's a different champion, but sort of the same concept. You have that Lulu to empower that Olaf, and because you're in the mid lane, our Juke is able to sort of support, maybe find a skirmish here and there. You also get priority, which means you can just roam with your jungler as well.
For sure. That is the idea. Find a way to roam around together with your jungler. And I feel like maybe that is the next thing that Execration would want to do as they try to poke out this Corki in the mid lane. Lots of poke and damage coming from both the Lulu as well as the Saya. For as long as he's not going to get stunned and, I think he's going to be safe in here for Execration.
Yeah, good thing he does have that Valkyrie for that safety. I think that is definitely something Liyab can relax a bit about. Liyab, though, making their way towards the bottom portion of the map. I mean, Dedene's on the Orianna. He does well in these lane swaps, whether you're in a 1v2 situation or a 1v1 situation, because an Orianna is a very neutral pick. You have really good wave clear, so all you have to do is keep yourself safe. You don't have to win. You don't have to lose the lane.
Yeah, for sure. Despite that turret did take some hits from the members of the Liyab Esports, the Kaisa, the Gragas. Oh no, not the Gragas, but the Braum and the Corki as well. Meantime, on the top side part of the map, you can see that Tante somehow is able to put that aggressive position up against Nixu in the Garen. And the Garen, again, just playing safe as well, just waiting for the last hits to come up. And yeah, pretty much chill for our first few minutes of the game.
Yep. I am guessing at level 5 for everyone else is just when everything explodes, especially when you're going towards the first dragon of the game, which will happen in 1 minute. And just as you mentioned at top side, it is very understandable for Tante to get priority in this lane because, again, picking a Garen is kind of similar to picking an Orianna. You don't lose the lane too hard, but you don't win the lane either. So again, very neutral pick.
Yeah, for sure. We can see that there are already resets incoming from the side of Execration. I wonder if they're gonna be going for that early position in the Dragon Pit. Looking a little bit late for Liyab. So is this Liyab in question allowing Execration to be in the first position? We'll have to find out because the best idea in here is Execration, since they are in a poke type of composition, they should not be the first one to be going for aggressive plays into objective fights.
Exactly, and a ton of poke as well coming from Liyab in the form of the Corki, and I believe Dragon or package timing actually timed well for Exocen, so they're gonna bring the party near the air drake. Biggest question is whether or not Execration wants to, allow the package to expire. They're fine just shoving the wave here and there and just wait for that package to not be used at all for Exocen.
And now I like how Execration this time, they're not they're being patient, basically. They're being patient about this first objective of the game. They're waiting for Liyab Esports to start it off at first, and Liyab Esports should find a way instead into going for a secure on these objectives. Because, look at that package already made use onto the Orianna. Not sure what has happened in there, but we can see Dedene already having his life into half.
I like that. I like that decision. I mean, your package is about to expire anyway. Might as well use it because you don't know where the rest of Execration is.
Yeah, for sure. And in here, we can see the team fight happening already. Lots of contestants for the side of Liyab Esports. Nearby, the Drake will there be. Oh, look at the stuns connecting just properly. First blood is going to go onto the Corgi. They will be securing that Cloud Dragon as well for the side of Liyab Esports. But Miggy in here will be punished by the Oriana. We can see a lot of exchange of hits, but this is so far a 1-for-1 trade and not yet even done. Ooh, the Kaisa again is just preheating from the backline. Missile barrage coming from Exocet as well, allowing and saving the life of the Kaisa. The two Baron laners wasn't able to join the team fight. The 4v4 fight happened a while ago, but then again, I think this is the idea on the composition of Liyab Esports. They're not scared about going in front of your face.
Exactly, a 4v4. That means your backline access is not going to be around.
Yeah.
Therefore, Liyab will be happy because the Camille threat will not be present in that dragon fight. So, Liyab definitely going to be happy taking that first dragon of the game. It is the complete opposite of what we've seen in the previous game, in game number 1. Look at them, not even taking their time getting that reset, just straight to this Rift Herald.
I do believe that Camille should have joined that Dragon take a while ago. I mean, that was a Garen. Garen is not super fast in terms of clearing minion waves. And a while ago, we did see the prio from the Camille as well, able to shove the minion waves up top. So that actually made me wonder, okay, you are very much needed on the team fights to get the backline access. Well, it did not happen. But anyway, that was just first few minutes of the game time. You can see some counter objectives happening in the map as of the moment.
Yeah, it is definitely an exchange of turrets, but at the end of the day, Execration did lose that Rift Herald, but at least they're able to get a consolation prize of not only one turret, but half a turret as well on that second tier in the bottom portion of the map. For Liyab, though, biggest question is where they're going to be using that Rift Herald. Do they want to use it in the mid lane, unlock that mid lane to get more space on both sides of the river, and possibly maybe even go deep into that jungle, invade a little bit onto Execration's resources? They have the capability of doing so. They have the Braum. They have a bunch of sets as well in the form of that body slam coming from Miggy. So maybe we could see a potential dive, actually.
Yeah, potential dive in here onto the bottom lane part of the map. I don't think that Detonate will be able to go into somewhere safe in here. Even you're under the turret, the Rift Herald has been placed in here already. Gonna be taking a plate or two in here, and that is a space created for Liyab Esports. I was kind of advanced into that one, but in here, an exchange by Execration as they take the mid lane turret in here. Oh, they're not yet done, as they would, just a little bit of pokes here and there. Everyone's gonna go back to safety, gonna go for a reset, and that was it. So far, this is just 1k gold lead in favor of Liyab Esports, but in terms of team fights, we can see that they can just go all out, 5 or 4 man in your face.
Yeah, it felt like it could have gone better for Liyab in that crab pincer attack. Of course, they have pincers. That pincer attack earlier, because Exocet had the package, it would have been perfect. Potential 4v3 situation as Execration was on the run. I think the difficult part is they do have some form of disengage as well with our Rook's what do you call this? Lulu pick here on that wild growth. Wild growth. So Liyab, unfortunately, unable to sort of capitalize on the package once more. 15 seconds on the clock, though, for the next dragon to spawn, and we'll have to see if Execration can even out that objective score on the board.
And this time, Liyab Esports, 3 or 4 members in this dragon pit already. And we can see that Tonte still up top. Again, backline access not going to be present. I don't think that the Olaf just going in front of your face will be enough. So I think this is going to be a contest. We'll see if there's going to be... Oh, that was a still coming from the very aggressive Olaf. But the question in here, will they be able to sustain a lot? Because we can see some assassins assassination play coming from the Kaisa. Gambit not gonna be getting a kill, quite a little bit late for the Garen to join the team fight. We did see that Tante finally joined in there to scare off the members of Liyab Esports. That was a good smite coming from Supremo. Not really smite actually, I think he just made use of his auto attacks to go for a steal. Very, very risky, but at the same time, if you put your trust onto Arjuk going for the wild growth, then that's gonna be it.
I mean, it's an Olaf. You have that Ragnarok. You
Yeah,
can't
too,
allow
that
any
too.
sort of CC coming
Yes.
by. So there's no way you can stop him unless you can burst him down. But the rest of Liyab were, again, doing this fight over the dragon for sure. So it was definitely messy. Now, here comes AC.
Yes, a siege once more in here. We can see the Garen already trying to take away the life of the Olaf, but that was quite too deep. The Olaf will still be able to go back alive. Really gonna be loving that flash by Supremo to go back into safety. He doesn't need a kill, but for as long as he will be kept alive onto a different type of objective that might come out anytime soon as well, then that's fine. Basically, just don't give more snowball potential for Liyab Esports. So this is now a fair match in terms of gold. No massive advantage that is currently present.
Take note that there's still that threat over towards Gambit's Kaisa in, again, the later stages of the game. So that is still something. Tante?
Yes, they're trying to go for a kill onto Tante, so they will try to stop that one out later on onto skirmishes that might happen. Death Dance already onto the hands of Tante right after he's killed by the Kaisa and the Karen, but more pressure coming towards the top side part of the map. They're going to be trying to go for a sandwich. Will this be enough? This is a 2v3 situation just in case, but oh, look at that, the flash and dash, but not going to be enough. That's just a shove of the members of Execration in order for Liyab Esports to get the position onto the Baron. They lost Dante in here, but death timers aren't that heavy as of yet.
Yeah, 12 minutes into the game, so still relatively short. Dedene's the next target.
I think the body slam did not connect, but I think that's wrong. Look at that shockwave connecting to a lot of members, but unfortunately, Oriano is already super low. Gonna get cancelled as well. Gonna get silenced in here. No more additional casualty right after Dedene dying from that fight, but knowing that Execration is lacking one member. Question is, will this be a Baron take? But this is quite obvious if they're actually gonna go for a Death Bush take. But yeah, scaring away the members of Execration this time.
Just 9 seconds on Dedene though. That means a potential 4v5 right now.
Let's see, the package has been used already. Special delivery, they're gonna go all out into this team fight. Ooh, look at that Hextech ultimatum though. Is that enough? That is the question though, but they are super low on HP. The members of Liyab Esports quite in trouble as well because they were taking some damage from the Baron. And oh, look at that chase coming from the members of Execration. Gambit is in a dangerous position, able to flash away. Will there be more bolts coming in for him? Slow him down. Fortunately enough, gonna go back for that survivability. But man, I think what is happening as of the moment, Liyab Esports got the somehow advantage onto going for an easier draft, but I feel like the positioning and the timing of the execution is not quite there.
There's always that threat of that, switching the boots, making it into a teleport. Dedene was able to join the fight, so it wasn't exactly a 4v5. It was a 4v5 at the last second, and then turned into a 5v5, but Dragon Fight.
Dragon Fight is dead. The red team's gonna be securing that one, but we can see Marita Boy super low on HP as of the moment. And whoa, look at that! And Hextech ultimatum. I think that has connected onto Migi. The Gragas will die onto the hands of the Olaf, and more pokes coming in from the members of Execration. Again, the disadvantage of, or the advantage of being in a poke type of composition is that you always allow your opponent to be on the first place or on the first contest on the objective, and you just make sure you poke them out. You focus fire on the champions rather than the objective, and just make sure their life is shredded. But in here, Will there be a potential steal onto the Baron? That is the question. Unfortunately not, but they're gonna try to go for a punish. You can see the Killer Instinct connecting onto the members of Execration as well, but Gambit was super all alone. But I think Gambit should have focus and try to go for an assist as to where Nixo was, because the rest of the members of Liyab Esports was here. The connection was there onto the Corki as well as the Garen as well as the Gragas, or the Brom rather, too. But they don't have a damage dealer from the back line. I think that was a little bit of miscommunication. If Gambit should have just backed away or tried to help out into the team fight, because I can see a potential. But on the side of Liyab Esports to maybe take down more targets on the side of Execration, they're not even done. In here, potentially they could have gotten the turret, but the lack of damage dealers wasn't there.
Oh boy, that was a close one. The fact that Execration lost Supremo in that Baron fight, which means it was a 50-50 chance either that Baron could have gone to Liyab or Execration. At the end of the day, it was the Dene who dealt the final blow on the Baron. Good news for Liyab though, because of that ensuing fight, they're able to remove members out of that Baron buff. So I think it is just the Dene who's able to retain that buff.
Yeah, I think so too. But I want to point out on that miscom that has happened a while ago. Again, I do believe that they could have shot down more members or maybe even take down the inner turret on the top side part of the map or in the mid lane too if Gambit did not back away. Again, Nixu was there creating space for him, but I think Gambit was kind of afraid, okay, wait, I'm super low on HP and, you know, maybe they're just not, he wasn't just not feeling it. And this puts me into question if Liyab Esports was actually in a comfortable position into pulling off this kind of comp, because it's somehow we can see them adjusting onto what's actually working, but apparently, you know, if it's working like in terms of meta but you're not ready in terms of pulling it off into an actual battlefield, then that's gonna be a problem. But as we can see in here, if they get their chances onto finding the best position and timing, they usually would win the fight. For the meantime, let's see what's happening.
Yeah, 5v5 Liyab Esports are going to be trying to find these opportunities. Now, Execration is a little bit separated, so this call, really good for Liyab, at least to lessen the threat of that Baron buff, sort of canceling the buff, at least for Execration to not use it.
In here, we can see that Tanze, apparently not able to make use of his X-Mech ultimatum. This is now a problem. Friendly though, Gambit could go for an early Killer Instinct. Gonna try to go for a chase, but the stasis was available. And now we can see two members left on the side of Execration. There is a chase onto Dadane, that Oriana, but I think that was just a way for him to buy time too. While the rest of the members of Liyab Esports going for a turret take in the middle lane. Dadane will fall down. Just Supremo all left alive. Is this gonna be it for Liyab Esports? Are we gonna go for a 1-1 score this time? Will Supremo be able to do anything at all into this fight or onto this push that Liyab Esports is already doing? Yes, indeed, teleport. Oh, apparently no chance. And yes, indeed, it's going to be a 1-1 score between Execration and Liyab Esports.
We have a series, ladies and gentlemen. Liyab, Execration, they're going to game number 3. What a way to open day number 2 of